Hey guys, Matthew here with Cool Stuff. Recently, Samsung has announced its next line of Galaxy products such as the S10, the S10e, the S10 Plus, the S10 5G, and the Galaxy Fold. And so I was kind of sitting around thinking, I wonder if my Galaxy S9 Plus is still relevant even a year after its debut. And so that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to check and see if this phone, the Galaxy S9, is still relevant in 2019, a year later. So sit back and relax, and here we go. Okay, so to begin, this is the Samsung S9 Plus. This was released back in 2018 in March, I believe, and so the quick specs is this is a 6.2 inch Quad HD AMOLED curved display. Samsung is known to make the best displays in the market, and to the point where Apple and Google all get their displays mainly from Samsung, and of course they save their best displays for themselves. And so let's see here if we can go ahead and so yeah, that's the display. It's beautiful, very vibrant colors, and it looks great. So this has a front-facing camera right here, and it is 8 megapixel autofocus sensor with an f1.7 aperture. So that's always good. And then on the rear, this is for the S9 Plus. This has the dual camera setup. One of these is the wide angle camera at a 12 megapixel autofocus sensor and a variable aperture, so it goes from an f1.5 aperture to an f2.4 aperture, so it does low light conditions pretty well. It works like the human eye works when exposed to low lights or bright lights, so that's always cool. And then it has a telephoto camera as well, which is also a 12 megapixel camera at an f2.4 aperture. So these cameras are great here. Also, you can see that it has a fingerprint sensor on the back of the phone, so that's always good. And Samsung, compared to their S8 and S8 Plus, they have put the fingerprint scanner in a good spot rather than right next to the camera. They put it on the bottom of the camera, so it's good for one-handed use rather than having to reach up at the top, so that's always good. Just a quick plug-in. This video is not sponsored at all, but I just want to give a quick shout out to Dbrand because they make great skins for your devices. This is currently a Dbrand, I think it's a dragon red skin on it, and it is super cool. I put Dbrand skins on all my products because they look cool, they feel cool, and they're relatively easy to install. And if you are having issues, there are videos online on their website with how-tos to install their devices. They have skins for the Samsung S9 Plus. They got it for the Google Pixel 3 XL, the iPhone, the LG, Huawei, OnePlus. They've got a number of skins, even for things like tablets, iPads, and even computers. And they also have a line of cases that they just came out with, and then they have some screen protectors. So I'll go ahead and put a link down in the description below. If you guys want to go ahead and check them out, that'll be great. Again, this video is not sponsored, but I just wanted to kind of give out a shout out to them because I do love their skins. So on to more of the phone. This phone does do video recording at 4K video at 30 or 60 frames per second, which is really neat. A lot of phones, such as the Google Pixel 3 XL, does 4K video, but only at 30 frames per second, so giving that 60 frames per second gives you kind of a smoother experience when it comes to shooting 4K video. And so the camera also does slow-mo at 180 p, and it also does super slow-mo at up to 720p. So that the super slow-mo is pretty cool. it's not like, I mean, it's not a huge difference, but it does show up pretty well. And they have a feature on here that when the phone detects that there's a fast moving scene, it will go ahead and do the super slow-mo on its own. I personally don't have that turned on, but that is a feature on this phone. So quickly, this phone, the S9 Plus, has 6 gigs of RAM with 64 gigabytes of internal storage, and then it has an expandable SD card slot for up to 512 gigabytes. So that's always cool that you can have that option instead of just being stuck to the 64 gigabytes or the 128 gigabytes. I'm looking at you, Google. But anyways, this phone ships with the Android 8.0, which is also known as Android Oreo. However, Samsung has just come out with their One UI for this phone, and they are shipping that out in batches. So more on that later. This phone has dual speakers on it, which they say are tuned by AKG. The speakers sound pretty good. They're not like gonna blow you away. They're not as good as, let's say, the iPhone speakers, but they're a lot better than a mono speaker in my opinion. The top speaker here doubles as the earpiece, and then the bottom speaker here, it doubles as it's kind of a downward firing speaker, so that's always cool. Also, you have a USB Type-C port here, which is cool. This phone does support fast charging with their included charger, and then you can use another charger, such as I personally use the Pixel chargers, because they charge at I think 18 watts, and so I just like to use the Google Pixel charger. But it does support fast charging, and then this phone also supports wireless charging, which is also a cool little thing in my opinion, that it does have wireless charging. This phone is IP68 water and dust resistant, which means that, I personally like to, when I take a shower, I like to kind of watch a YouTube video of I'm a history nerd, so or a tech nerd, so I'll put on something on history on YouTube, or I'll put something on something about tech on YouTube, and I'll connect it to my Bluetooth speaker that's in the bathroom, and I'll be able to watch the video while I'm taking a shower, which is nice. It does make my showers a little bit longer, but I don't mind it at all. So the battery is a 3,500 milliamp battery. This battery, in my opinion, lasts quite a while. I've never really had an issue where I've been halfway through the day, or even a third of the way through the day, I've been running around trying to find an outlet for my charging. The battery gets me through the day pretty well, and so this phone is also packed with a Snapdragon 845 processor. I know that Qualcomm has just come out with their Snapdragon 855 processor, which the S10 and the S10 lineup has, and so yes, it is about a year old, but it still works pretty well. It's very smooth in my opinion, so yeah. And then the cool thing about this is that, if you can see, it has a 3.5mm headphone jack right here, which is nice. It's a nice touch. I like to be able to have wired headphones, and so yeah, it's pretty cool in my opinion that they do include the 3.5mm headphone jack in the box, so you're not solely having to choose between USB Type-C headphones or completely wireless headphones. So this phone currently goes at $639.99. Through Best Buy's website, you can buy it unlocked with this variant through Best Buy. I know Samsung is also selling this phone at a cheaper price, but it's not quite as cheap as the $639.99. But I will include a link to the Best Buy's website with that price in the video description below as well. And so yeah, just want to let you guys know. Also, let's talk about the buttons real quick. This has a couple buttons here. This is the Bixby button. Sadly, this button right here is not programmable, unlike in the S10 Plus and the S10. This button, it is solely for Bixby. So if you do get this phone, you will, I always accidentally press this button. All my friends press that button by accident too. It's just inevitable. So get ready for some accidental Bixby presses. Also, above that, because you have that button there, you also have the volume buttons here, the volume rocker. And that's why you actually press this button a lot, is because you have your up and down volume right there. And then you have your power button, which doubles. In the settings, you can double tap the power button and it will go ahead and quick launch whatever. Usually it'll quick launch the camera app, and so that's what I have it programmed to do right now. So yeah, on to the software. Samsung has tended to use their TouchWiz or Samsung Experience on their phones. It's just a quick, like a skin for their phones. However, in my opinion, it wasn't very good, and it was very cluttered. And so Samsung just recently came out with their One UI, which is their new interface, their new skin for this phone and for all the Samsung phones. And so One UI, in my opinion, is a vast upgrade to the Samsung Experience and the TouchWiz. When I first got this phone, I was very frustrated with all the clutter and everything that came with this phone, such as, just the apps and everything. It wasn't very one-handed accessible because, let's be honest, this is a pretty big phone at 6.2 inches. However, with One UI, we can take a look here. As you can see here, you've got your header for the screen here, and then everything else is kind of one-handed accessible, which is nice. It's still kind of a reach, but it's not as much of a reach as it was in the past, which is nice. You can see that there. You can see it in the phone calls right here. Let's see here if I can go ahead and. So yeah, it's just a nice experience. Text messages, you see messages there, and then everything else right here. So that's always nice. And then and Bixby has gotten an upgrade as well. At least right here, it's gotten an upgrade. I don't really use Bixby a whole lot. I much prefer Google Assistant, but that's that. One UI has kind of made this phone feel like a brand new phone, in my opinion. I got tired of TouchWiz, and so when I upgraded, I was like, I'll see how the One UI works, and it works pretty well. I have actually been enjoying it. It also adds gestures to their navigation as well, where the OnePlus has the swipes up and different sides of the screen, same with the Huawei, and then the Google Pixel has the pill, and then the arrow as well. This one has 3 swipes. You can swipe in the middle or to the left, and it brings up your Recents app. You can swipe up in the middle, and it will go back to your home screen. And then let's say you want to go back and something, you can swipe to the right, and it'll just take you back to the next page or the previous page. So that's always cool. And then you can do this whole kind of swiping over a little bit to bring up various pages. So that's always fun, in my opinion. I like it a lot. I wish that this was a little bit more prominent, because there's times when I do this, and instead of going to the previous page, it will go like 2 or 3 pages back, and I'm like, I want to go to the previous page. But that's just a minor gripe, in my opinion. But yeah, this phone, One UI has kind of brought a new interface and a new, a refreshed look at this phone, and I've really enjoyed it. So lastly, let's look at here. If you can tell, there is no notch, which is a cool thing. In 2018, notches kind of ruled the sea of smartphones. Started kind of with the Essential phone and Apple, and then moved to phones such as the LG V30. I think it was the 330, and then also like OnePlus and OnePlus 6T also did it, and then other companies started doing it. Huawei did it, and so as you can see here, there is no notch even in this phone, which is a cool, nice little thing in my opinion. I like that there wasn't a notch to begin with. I mean, now you kind of get used to a notch. I also have the Google Pixel 3 XL, and that notch, yes, it is massive, but after a while you just kind of get used to it. But it was I like that Samsung did not include the notch in this phone at all. So yeah, as you can see, the display is very nice, and I'll go ahead and just throw up a couple pictures that I took with the camera, so you can kind of see how the camera compares and how good the portrait mode is on that camera. So yeah. Guys, that was the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. A year later, in my opinion, this is a great phone for the price of $639.99 at Best Buy. Again, I will put that link in the description below so you guys can have access to that. But overall, in my opinion, this phone has flagship level specs, even in today's market, even a year after it first debuted. And so if you're on the fence, this is a great phone. If you have this phone, I would say that this is still a top-notch phone. Well, not top-notch because it doesn't have a notch, but it is a top-tier phone in my opinion. I will be doing a unboxing and a review of the Galaxy S10 Plus in a few weeks after I've pre-ordered it. So after it comes in, I'll do an unboxing of it. I'll also kind of compare the S9 Plus to the S10 Plus to determine if you should upgrade, if you already have the S9 Plus, if it's worth the upgrade, if it's not worth the upgrade. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But anyways, if you liked this video, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you really liked it. And if you want to see more videos, go ahead and hit that bell icon. I think it's right there, because I will be posting more videos, and if you hit that bell icon, it'll notify you when those videos do come up. I try to post a video at least once a week. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but overall once a week. So yeah, thanks for watching. That was my 1 year review of the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. And so yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.